Where's my calculator? Yes. But even if it was £50 cra, Nanka, I will take it. Before I moved to the UK, I did not care about pensions. I didn't even collect my private pensions because in my head, it's a complicated thing. And I'm just a girl in the world. Mind you, I'm a chartered accountant too, so math is not that hard for me. I'm just lazy sometimes. But recently, I caught myself thinking, I'm building this new life in the UK right now, but what about the future me? What happens if I stop working? And between me and you, I'm not working until I'm 65. Ankama titi, ankama say. Never. I would never do such a thing. Now, to retire early and comfortably, the first thing I looked at is pensions. And brethren, it felt like you're walking into a maze. The UK pension system is a lot. I remember opening one of the government's websites and was like, nope, too many words. The math is okay, but not yet. So for a while, I ignored it. But that's basically walking past a cash machine that's handing out free money. Because seriously, for most people, a pension is one of the most powerful tools for building wealth. And almost no one actually understands exactly how it works. But the thing is, if you get a few simple ideas right, you could set yourself up for a very comfortable retirement, either here in the UK or wherever you want to retire. We are talking guaranteed income from the government and thousands in free cash from your employer. So today, let me tell you what I wish someone told me in plain English about pensions in the UK, especially if you're an immigrant like me. I'll break down the 3 main types of pensions in the UK and show you exactly how I started figuring mine out. We will cover what they are, who can get them, and the exact steps you need to take to start building your retirement fund today. I will also leave some links to some spreadsheets and free resources in the description box and in the comments to help you get started quickly. Hi, my name is Yvonne, and on this channel, I share my personal experiences, career, and personal finance tips. So I highly recommend that you subscribe so you don't miss any videos from me. For now, let's get into it. Now, let's start with the foundation of the whole system. That is the state pensions. I think about it as the government saying, hey, thanks for working all those years. Here's a little something to keep you alive since you've stopped. So it's basically a guaranteed paycheck from the government when you reach retirement age. It's not the type of money that you can use to go and buy a yacht, but it's enough to keep the lights on and you're barely halfway full, not all the way. It's like a basic safety net to help you cover your living costs. Now, how do we actually get this magical government money? It all comes down to something called national insurance, your NI number that everybody is always asking you for. And if you're new here, this number is a mysterious line on your payslip that makes you go, wait, who is taking this money and why? I know for a fact that I had that question when I first saw my payslip because I was so confused. I know there is tax, but then what is this also doing here? Like, was this person working with me? Who is NI? And to my surprise, it turns out that's what's being used to build up my state pensions. To qualify for any state pensions, you need at least 10 qualifying years. That means 10 tax years where you've paid enough national insurance. And to get the full amount, you need about 35 qualifying years. So if you come to the UK and you work for like 5 years and then you move out, depending on where you are moving to and the agreement in place, your pension could just disappear. It's gone as shit. Now, as of April 2025, the full state pension is £230 25 pence a week. That's about £11,900 a year, guaranteed for life. And it goes up every year to match the cost of living. But the thing is, will £921 be enough for you when you are 65? Personally, I would say no, but we will get into that in a minute. Here is where it gets interesting for people like me, because the time you spend working and paying tax here in the UK is what builds your entitlement. But the years don't have to be back to back. So if you've taken breaks or switched jobs or even left the country for a while, it's still okay as long as you've got those qualifying years adding up over time. When I first learned that, I immediately went online to check my national insurance record. It's super easy. Just go on the gov.uk website. You can see exactly how many years you've built up and whether you've got any gaps. And you can fill in those gaps, so don't panic. That's what she said. No, but you can pay a bit of money now to turn that gap year into a qualifying year, which is wild because spending a few hundred quid today could add thousands to your retirement income later. For example, when my friend first came to the UK, she didn't start working right away because she was still figuring things out, right? And she was a dependent, so she had that luxury. So because of this, she had a few months where she didn't pay NI. When she finally checked her record, those years were just sitting there empty. So she made voluntary payments to fill them in. And honestly, those could boost your pension for life. And another thing is that the UK actually has security agreement with a bunch of countries, including one in the EU and others like Canada and New Zealand, which means if you've worked in one of these countries before, those years might help you qualify for the minimum 10 years requirement here. But, and this is very important, the actual money you will get from the UK government will only be based on the amount you've paid so far in the UK. So don't expect Canada or New Zealand to help the UK government fund your retirement money. It's not gonna happen. Like I said earlier, you will not be able to use your state pensions to fund your luxurious lifestyle. It might not even be able to cover your rent if you stay in London. So I like to see it as the foundation of my future income. Yes, the money is not much, but even if it was £50 cra, Nanka, I will take it. I'm not going to let them thief my money, not even a penny. It's a very essential income you earn just for working here. So the action is simple. Get online, check your national insurance record and see where you stand, okay? Now let's move on to the next. If the state pension is the foundation, the workplace pension is where you start building the house. And this one one is honestly a game changer because this is where the free money starts rolling in. Now, again, you see, I saw that NI and I was confused. I also saw another £40 going out of my salary. So I had to go to HR. I went to HR. I was like, madam, what is going on? You are taking NI. You two are taking additional £4. This £4, I can use it to buy Uber Eats. And then she explained to me that that is actually the employment pension and that I was automatically enrolled, which also wasn't the case because why are you enrolling me in something that I didn't even sign up for? But I was told I have the option to opt out. And me too, I almost did though, because it was a tempting offer. But when I found out I also get free money from my employer and the government, in addition to that £40, I decided to keep paying. So here's how it works. Your workplace pension is basically a retirement savings plan your employer sets up for you. Thanks to something called auto-enrollment, most of the employees in the UK are automatically signed up. It doesn't matter if you are British, Ghanaian, Indian, Nigerian. So long as you are working for someone and you are over 22, they will automatically enroll you in it. And like I said, it's not just you saving. Your employer has to chip in as well. By law, the minimum total contribution is 8%. You put in 5% and your employer tops up with 3%. And then the government also gives you tax relief on it. If you are a basic rate taxpayer, every time you put £40 in, the government basically says, hey, keep £8 of that tax you would have paid. If you had decided to opt out and use the money for Uber Eats, you would have gotten £32. But if you don't opt out, that £40 will stay £40. There is no tax on it. And then they will add it straight to your pension. So let's do some quick math, okay? Get your pen and paper ready. Where's my calculator? Yes. So you put in £40 and your boss also puts £30. That makes £70. And that means £70 is going into your pensions, which is almost double the money. If we do 40 times 2, you get 80. You are putting in 40. You are getting £30 on top free money. Where will you get this deal? Anyway, yes, it's only crypto Ponzi schemes that you will get this deal in, the shady ones. I'm actually of the view that pensions are Ponzi schemes, but as long as I'm getting my money, I'm good. So long as we keep on giving birth, people will keep paying into the pension and the people who are behind will get paid. So that should be fine. And some employers are even more generous. They will tell you that they will match your percentage contribution. So if you are contributing 5%, they will also contribute 5%. If you go higher, they will also go higher. But some of them would have a limit. They will say, oh, you will match it up to 6%. So of course, if you tell me you will match me up to 6%, for the love of money, I will contribute 6%. Anna, I want free money and 100% return sounds like music to my ears. Opting out of your workplace pension is like your boss asking you if you need a pay rise and you say, nah, I'm good. Well, unless you have other plans and you've decided to do private pensions, which I'll get to in a minute, but still, you will not get free money from your employer. All these contributions doesn't just sit in a vault somewhere as your pension. No. It gets invested, usually in stocks and bonds. I have a detailed video on stocks and bonds up here. You can check it out. But if you know, you know. And once it gets invested into these commodities, it grows over time. And these are called defined benefit schemes. Please, so I'm not casting spells. I'm sorry. I have to say it and then I'll explain. It just means that your final pot depends on how much went in and how well the investment did. So the earlier you start, the longer your money has to grow and the more you will thank yourself later. It's kind of like planting a money tree, but the type that takes 30 years to grow. If you're an immigrant like me, you don't have to do anything. The money comes straight out of your salary before it even hits your bank account. So you will not even see it going out unless you decide to go and check your pay slip and investigate what is going on. But in my opinion, if you don't see it, you don't miss it. And if you change jobs, which we will all do eventually, your pension pot doesn't disappear. It's still yours. You can leave it where it is. You can move it to your new company scheme or even transfer it into a private pension if you want to keep things tidy. Honestly, once I understood this, I felt like I've unlocked a cheat code. Every month I put a bit in and my employer adds some. The government joined the parties and the future me is sipping mimosas in Miami on a yacht. Okay? I see the vision. This is easy money. And the idea is that your workplace pension fill in the gaps between when you actually stop working and when your state pension starts kicking in. So it's from age 55, but after 2028, we'll move up to age 57. These people will do anything and everything to chop your money. All right, if this is actually clearing things up for you in relation to pensions in the UK, or maybe you are just finding this very helpful or entertaining, please do me a quick favor and hit on the subscribe button. I make videos specifically to help people like us build financial freedom and also get ahead at work. And subscribing means you won't miss the next video where I'm breaking down exactly how much money you can realistically expect to get step by step. And honestly, it's the easiest way to make sure you are actually prepared instead of hoping for the best. Okay, so we've talked about state pension and workplace pension. Now it's time for the final boss, your private pensions. A private pension is one you set up yourself. And the most common type is a SIPP, which stands for self-invested personal pension. Just think of a SIPP as a special investment account with amazing tax perks where you get to call the shots and decide where to invest your money for the future. So who are private pensions for? Because a few people find it very helpful. The first person is the self-employed. If you're your own boss, you don't have any employer to set up a workplace pension for you. A SIPP is how you can build a retirement fund with all the same great tax benefits, because you would need tax benefits as a self-employed person. These people, they will tax you to the bone. So you also need to find ways and means to avoid it. Tax evasion, avoid is the legal one. The second person is the ambitious saver. For you, you are saying that the state pension pension and your employer's pension is not enough, you also want to put money aside for the future in addition to those two. Right now, you can save up to 100% of your earnings, which is capped at £60,000 a year across all your pensions. I know people who have passed the 120,000 annual salary and are using SIPP to avoid tax because they will tax you heavily on that salary. I will break it down in another video, so please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss it. The third person is the investment nerd, the people who are always scrolling through the stock markets looking at what is going up, what is going down. These people would love SIPPs because you would have the freedom to invest for your own future. You would have the freedom to decide, okay, should I invest in S&P 500 or I should just invest in Tesla? It is all up to you. So yeah, these people will also love SIPPs. And people who also want to put all the pensions in one place will find this SIPP very helpful because people work multiple jobs in the UK and sometimes they just want to consolidate all their pensions so that everything is just in one place and it's easier to just monitor. And the SIPP will actually help you to pull everything together so that it's tidy. Now, just like the workplace pension, the government rewards you for saving into a SIPP through tax reliefs. And for every £80 you put in, the government automatically adds £20 to top up. If I'm a higher rate taxpayer, I can even claim more back through my tax return. It's like a cashback offer, but for your future self. They've already deducted tax of 20% from your salary before it hits your account. And then from there, you are paying into your SIPP, which means that the 20% needs to be added back. So if it's £80, it means it should have been £100. So the government will give you back the 20% tax if you're a basic taxpayer. If you are a higher taxpayer, I think it's 40%. So you can claim up to that after you do your tax return and self-assessment. I hope I'm making sense. Now, if you're an immigrant like me, this part is actually extra interesting because let's say you've brought some savings over from your home country and you want to grow them long term without losing half to tax. A SIPP can actually be a brilliant option. As long as you are living in the UK, you can open one and start investing. Some overseas pensions can also be transferred into a UK plan, but it has to be through a scheme called the Recognized Overseas Pension Scheme. If it's not on that list and you try to move it anyway, the taxman will come and collect as usual. And it's never in a gentle way. They just so yeah, that's definitely one of speak to a financial advisor before you do anything wild moments. Now let's wrap it up because if you've made it this far, you officially care more about your future than 90% of the people I know. We've pulled back the curtain on the 3 pillars of the UK pension system. So which one should you use? Honestly, I would say all of them because this isn't a pick one and hope for the best situation. The real magic happens when you stack them together. That's how you build something solid, a proper multi-layered plan for your future self. But of course, you also have to have the money, right? Because these monies are being saved for your future self. And if you go ahead and save something that you would need sooner than later, you might rather run into paying penalties. So you have to be careful of that as well. Now, before you go and eat and forget everything I just said, here's your 3-step action plan. Easy, quick, and doable. The first step is to check your state pensions. Go to gov.uk website and look up your national insurance record. I've already said this. See how many qualifying years you've got. And if there are any gaps, you can probably fill them. This is the foundation, so start there. The second thing is to maximize your workplace pension. Grab your pay slip, see how much you're putting in and how much your employer is adding. If they will match a higher contribution, bump yours up if you can. It's literally free money. Don't say no to that. And then the third thing is to consider a private pension. Once the first two are sorted, this is your turbo mode. If you're self-employed, you want to save more, or you've got random pension pots scattered from old jobs, this is your tool. Just open the SIPP, consolidate everything, and take control. If you want links to everything I've mentioned, how to check your NI record, workplace pension calculators, and guides on SIPPs, check out the description box, okay? I have something for you. And hey, if this helped you finally make sense of the UK pension system, because wow, it's amazing, please do me a favor and hit the like button, subscribe, and maybe share with a friend who still thinks pensions is something they will deal with when they are 60. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.